Hello, and welcome to Unity Church on the Mountain from my home. The title of the talk today will be Life and Renunciation. But before we begin that, let's start by affirming together our opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe, God. Take in a deep breath, a holy breath, and release it. And another one, breathing in slowly, holding for a short time, and releasing slowly. We allow our breath to relax our body. Relaxing our body, we begin to calm those inner thoughts, coming to that still and quiet place within. From this place, let us affirm together the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. So, life and renunciation. These are the last two of the 12 faculties that are yet to be covered in this series that began about a month and a half ago. On Christmas Eve, we had a ceremony to activate all 12 powers within us as we celebrated the rebirth of the Christ consciousness within us. You see, we call it a rebirth because there's nowhere and no time that we can go when the Christ presence is not with us, when God is not with us. So we bring back to our awareness this presence. And that is what we mean when we say the rebirth. It is this Christ presence within us that brings us these 12 faculties. They are principal. They were present within us before we were born in these bodies, and they will continue. And they are at work in our life, whether we realize it or not. Renunciation is our ability to eliminate from our awareness, from our consciousness, that which is holding us back. These things that are holding us back expressed in our life. But renunciation is not about eliminating things in the outer world. It's about changing our consciousness. When we change our consciousness, it expresses in our entire life. Renunciation is symbolized in the Bible by the disciple Thaddeus. And it is centered in our lower abdomen. In our lower abdomen. Renunciation allows us to eliminate, to get rid of. There is a spiritual practice that we use to bring this power, this faculty about in our life. It's part of our spiritual toolbox. It's called denial. Denials. Denial is not about blinding ourselves to what is going on. Denial is not what we mean when we say that a person who has had 3 DUIs and can't admit that they are an alcoholic is in denial. You see, it's a different use of the same word. A denial is a spiritual practice that we use to change our consciousness, to change that flow of thoughts that is running through our mind. Denials allow us the space in a mind that has gone erratic or is in a cycle of error thinking. The denial gives us the space to bring in that other spiritual tool, the affirmation. Renunciation is the faculty of denial. Faith is our faculty of affirmation. It is saying yes to Spirit. Denial is saying no to error thought. At its lowest vibration level, renunciation can manifest itself as staying in a situation that is not helpful to our growth or even harmful to our physical being. A lower vibration of the renunciation faculty can also mean that we can't hold to anything, that we eliminate everything. We flit, we jump around from this to that. On next Sunday, we'll be having a burning bowl ceremony where we will bring this power of renunciation into eliminating the obstacles from our spiritual growth. And we'll bring in other of the 12 powers, the 12 faculties, to project ourselves into the new year. To project our vision, to set our vision, and to give it that authority from power. Denial. It's also not a river in North Africa. Denial. Denials allow us the space to change our consciousness. They give us that shift that's necessary to transform our being by the renewal of our mind. We renew our mind by denying that error thought and affirming the truth of who we are. You see, we bring in understanding, we bring in power, we bring all of the 12 faculties of mind to work. And that's how it usually happens. As we become used to looking at our consciousness using this model of the 12 faculties of mind, we can see that they don't work individually, that they work together. The other faculty that I want to talk about today is life. Life is perhaps one of the most elusive of the 12 faculties of mind, one of the hardest to put into words, maybe. Faith might be there too. But we know what life is. We know that quickening energy, that vitality. We know that life is in us. Life flows through us. Life is also in the things around us, our plants and animals, those things which we know of as living. Life is very much related to our zeal. Remember, zeal was our spiritual motivation. It's the force, the energy that jumpstarts us into moving on our spiritual path. Life is what gives us the energy to continue through. It's also related to strength. You see, there's no way to separate these when you really start looking at how they work. They work together. Life is symbolized in the New Testament by the disciple Judas. And it is centered in our generative organs, both internal and external. Now, when I first heard Judas, it made me step back. Because remember, Judas is the betrayer. Judas is the one who sold out Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. Brought the guard of the temple guard, to the garden and kissed Jesus to signify that he is the one. And then they arrested him, carried him back, and eventually he was crucified. So, what does this mean when we say Judas symbolizes life? Life, at its highest vibration, it allows us to have that energy to grow spiritually. And it is what we pass on in procreation. When two come together as one, and then there is the offspring. That's life at work. However, Judas, I think we can all look back at our lives and notice a time when we were led astray, when we were betrayed by a low vibration of life, where we made decisions, entered into relationships based on not our wisdom, not our understanding, but based on a betrayal of us by the center of life in our generative organs. That is how we can be betrayed in the manner that Judas betrayed our master teacher Jesus. Life. It is a direct connection to Source. All life comes from God. We were alive before these bodies, and we are alive when the body lies down. Life. It didn't begin with the body, and it doesn't end with the body. Life. I do want to share a song. But first I want to encourage you through the week to take your spirit breaks. Not at a set time, but notice your consciousness. Try to bring about a spirit break within each hour. But that's okay if it doesn't happen. We'll play with this, playing with spirit breaks, so that we can observe ourselves without needing to forgive. It is okay. And that does remind me when I say forgiveness. You see, that is also renunciation at work. When we hold on to a resentment, we're vibrating renunciation at one of its lowest levels. We keep pulling ourselves back. Pulling ourselves back is also order vibrating at its lowest level. What happened to Lot's wife as she gazed back at the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah? She turned to a pillar of salt. We don't want to continue looking back. We don't want to continue holding on to some resentment that is dragging us down. Life is that power we can activate in each of our cells to bring each cell to wholeness, strengthening our autoimmune system. When I'm in the shower, I like to look at the little frog there and affirm that I fearlessly rely on God. And then as I wash my body, I picture life flowing through me, touching every cell with this life-giving energy, vibrating it to its perfect wholeness. Life. So as you take spirit breaks through this week, use that as an opportunity to see that life flowing through you out into the universe and touching every person you come into contact with, touching every cell in the body with its rejuvenating life. The song I'd like to share today is another song that I wrote. It's called Blood. It comes out of a time in my life when I really needed Spirit. And I think Spirit came and gave me this song as a turnaround. You might even see somewhat of the denial in the words. That faculty of renunciation. But ultimately, it is about life. It is about love. That attracting force that brings us, that urges within us, that calling to find that presence of Spirit within us. It's called Blood. of the pain. How sad is the passion and the shame. Crimson is the color of his name. Mother Earth is smiling, and passions flow like water. Mountain of Redeemer, feeling ripened and feeling wide. Feel the root, feel the passion of glory. It's not the same as it was long ago. It's the taste, it's the feel of the story. His love will come like a rose will grow. Not the same as it was long ago. It's the taste, it's the feel of the story. His love will come like a rose will grow. Beneath the feeling of the pain. How sad is the passion and the shame. Crimson is the color of his name. Love will come, love will come. Love will come, love will come. Love is here right now. 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 So remember, spirit breaks. Feel that life energy flowing through, touching each cell in your body. What is it that's holding you back? Is there a thought that keeps coming back into your mind, into your consciousness, that prevents that growth towards realizing that presence in each moment? Renunciation is the faculty of mind to help deal with that. Let us close by affirming together the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much.